What patience does to us. Patience works in deep shaping ways, both in how we see life and how we grow within it. Here's what patience does to us. It builds inner strength. Patience trains us to endure challenges without breaking down, giving us resilience. Yes, exactly. We need patience train us to endure challenges without breaking down, giving us resilience. You captured one of the deepest truths about patience. Think of it like this. Each moment of waiting without giving up is like lifting a weight. You may not see immediate results, but over time, your inner muscles of resilience grows. Resilience doesn't mean we don't feel the struggle. It means we learn how to stand firm through the struggle. Without patience, difficulties can break us down. With patience, the same difficulties build us up. Patience is more than waiting, it is strength in disguise. Each time we choose patience in the face of challenges, we're training our hearts not to break, but to bend. We learn to endure storms without being uprooted. Resilience is born in those quiet moments. We don't give into frustration when we decide to keep moving forward instead of giving up. Patience stretches us, strengthens us, and shows us that growth takes time. In the end, patience doesn't just help us survive trials, it transforms them into stepping stones, building a resilience that carries us through whatever comes next. Patience is more than waiting, it is trusting. When life passes hard, patience teaches us not to break, but to endure. Knowing God is at work even in delays. Each trial becomes training for resilience, shaping us to stand firm in faith. Resilience doesn't mean the storms stop. It means we've learned, through patience, how to remain rooted in God's promises. As James chapter 1 verse 3 reminds us, the testing of your faith produces perseverance. With patience, every challenge becomes an opportunity, not to weaken us, but to build us into people who can withstand and overcome with hope. What does patience do to us? Calms the mind. Instead of reacting in frustration, patience teaches us to slow down, breathe, and respond with clarity. Patience calms the mind. Instead of rushing into anger or frustration, patience invites us to pause, to breathe, to think, and to see more clearly. In that space, our reactions soften, and wisdom takes the place of impulse. A calm mind isn't weakness, it's strength under control. When we practice patience, we learn that peace isn't found in everything going our way, but in choosing how we respond when it doesn't. As the proverb says, in chapter 14, verse 29, reminds us whoever is patient has great understanding. The one who is quick tempered displays folly. Exactly. A calm mind isn't weakness, it's quite strength. It takes far more courage to pause than to lash out, more wisdom to wait than to react. Patience gives us that strength, the ability to stay steady when emotions run high. In stillness, we see more clearly. In calmness, we choose more wisely. And in patience, we find a peace that protects both our hearts and our relationships. Number three, strengthens relationships. Being patient with others builds trust, understanding, and forgiveness. Patience strengthens relationships. When we choose to be patient with others, we give space for trust to grow and for hearts to heal. Instead of rushing to judgment or letting frustration speak, patience allows us to understand to take root. It is through patience that forgiveness becomes possible because love waits, listens, and endures. As Ephesians chapter 4:2 remind us, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Patience doesn't just hold relationships together, it deepens them, turning fragile bonds into unshakable ones. When we choose patience, we give others the room to grow, the grace to fail, and the chance to be understood. In that space, fragile bonds become strong and love matures into something unshakable. Patience reminds us that every heart needs time, every person needs grace, and every relationship needs room to breathe. What feels like waiting is often the very soil where trust and love take root. In the process of life, the moment when we choose patience instead of rushing, God is quietly building something stronger within us and between us. Patience gives relationship room to breathe. It allows forgiveness to heal wounds, kindness to deepen trust, and love to grow steady roots. Waiting isn't wasted time. It is nurturing time, where unseen growth prepares for lasting fruit. Where unseen growth prepares for lasting fruit, patience is quietly a word, just as seeds push roots deep before breaking through the soil. Patience shapes us in hidden ways, strengthening our resilience, calming our minds, and deepening our relationships. We may not see the change right away, but patience teaches us that the best fruit takes time to grow. And when it finally appears, it's stronger, sweeter, and more enduring because it was nurtured and in the waiting. Nurtured in waiting, patience works quietly within us. It strengthens our resilience, calms our minds, and deepens our relationships. Like a seed growing roots before it blooms, the time we spend waiting shapes us in a ways we cannot see yet. Though the process may feel slow, the growth it produces is lasting. Patience teaches us that the most meaningful changes, strong hearts, steady minds, and unshakable bonds are cultivated in the stillness, nurtured in the waiting. Number 4 develops wisdom. Patience gives us the space to think, reflect, and make better decisions rather than rushing. Patience develops wisdom by giving ourselves the space to pause, reflect, and consider. We avoid hasty decisions that might lead to regret. When we rush, we act on impulse. When we wait, we act with understanding. Patience isn't rushed, it grows quietly, nurtured by patience. Each moment we wait with intention is a moment we strengthen our ability to act with understanding and grace. When we pause instead of reacting, we can listen more deeply, respond more wisely, and treat others and ourselves with compassion. It transforms our choices from impulsive reaction into thoughtful actions, allowing love, kindness, and wisdom to guide us. In this way, patience doesn't just teach us to wait, it teaches us to live well. Patience teaches us to live well. It slows us down, calms our minds, and strengthens our heart. Through patience, we gain wisdom, act with understanding and grace, and build deeper, more lasting relationships. Waiting isn't just wasted time. It's where unseen growth happens, where resilience is nurtured, and where love and trust take root. In learning patience, we are not just enduring life, we are learning to live it fully, wisely, and well. Patience refines character. It humbles our pride, softens our anger, and shapes us into kinder, gentle people. When we learn to wait without frustration, we discover strength in humility and courage in restraint. Through patience, our hearts are molded, not by what we achieve quickly, but by how we endure, respond, and grow in a quiet moment. Each act of patience leaves a subtle mark, refining us into the people we are meant to be. Patience is a quiet teacher, refining us into the people we are meant to be. It humbles our pride, softens our anger, and nurtures kindness and gentleness. In the waiting, the endurance, in the calm, our character is shaped, not by ease, but by how we respond to life challenges. Through patience, we become stronger, wiser, and more loving. A reflection of the growth that only time and faithful endurance can bring. Patience humbles our pride. It is a core part of patience power. It reminds us that not everything can happen in our schedule, and not every situation is about us. In learning to wait, to listen, and to endure without frustration, we let go of self-centered impulses and open our hearts to understanding, grace, and growth. Through this humility, patience shapes our character, softens our hearts, and teaches us the quiet strength of restraint. We discover a real power, not in force or speed, but in calm, measured action. Through patience, our minds are steady, our hearts are softened, and our character is refined, shaping us into the people we are meant to be. What patience does to us. Last but not least, it protects our peace. Patience shields us from unnecessary stress by teaching us to accept what we can't control. When we stop fighting what is beyond us, our minds and hearts find calm, and our energy is preserved for what truly matters. Through patience, we learn to release frustrations, embrace understanding, and rest in the stillness of faith. Peace is not the absence of challenges. It is the quiet strength cultivated by patience in the midst of them. When we learn to wait without frustrations, to endure without giving it to anger, and to trust even when circumstances are uncertain, our hearts find a calm that no storm can shake. Patience teaches us that the true peace comes not from controlling life, but from controlling ourselves, our reactions, our thoughts, and our responses. This is the way patience becomes an anchor that steadies us through every trial. When life tosses storms our way, it is patience that keeps us our hearts grounded, our minds clear, and our spirits unshaken. It teaches us to endure without breaking, to respond with wisdom, and to remain calm amid uncertainty. Learning patience will discover resilience, cultivate peace, deepen relationships, and grow into people we are meant to be. In a quiet strength of waiting, life's challenges become opportunities of lasting growth. Patience is more than waiting. It is a quiet teacher shaping every part of our lives. It trains us to endure challenges without breaking down, giving us resilience. Each trial becomes a stepping stone, strengthening our hearts and teaches us stand firm even when circumstances are difficult. Comes to mind, inviting us to pause, breathe, and respond with clarity instead of reacting in frustration. In that stillness, wisdom takes root, and our decisions are guided by understanding rather than impulse. Patience strengthens relationship by giving others space to grow and forgiving imperfections. It transforms fragile bonds into deep, unshakable connections What feels like waiting is often the very soil where trust and love take root. It develops wisdom, providing the space to reflect, think, and make better choices. Patience nurtures the ability to act with understanding and grace, teaching us to live well. Patience refines our character. It humbles our pride, softens our anger, and cultivates kindness and gentleness, shaping us into the people we are meant to be. It gives us a quiet strength of restraint, showing that true power often lies in calm and measured action. Protects our peace by teaching us to accept what we can't control. Patience shields us from unnecessary stress. Peace is not absence of challenges, it is a quiet strength cultivated by patience in the midst of them. Patience becomes the anchor that steers us through every trial. In all these ways, patience is not passive waiting, it is active growth, quietly transforming us, shaping our hearts, and guiding us our lives toward resilience, wisdom, peace, and love. In quiet of patience, roots grow deep, frustrations fades, wisdom blooms, and love strengthens. Waiting isn't wasted, it's where growth becomes lasting.